Thanks so much for joining us on this week's episode of the Tip Share. Today's topic is how do you categorize restaurant expenses? Opening a restaurant is a costly endeavor, and successfully running a restaurant requires strict attention to your restaurant expenses to control costs and increase efficiencies. Few restaurants can get by with paper, pencil, and a stack of Excel sheets for manual data entry. Such restaurants miss out on the opportunity to reduce expenses and increase profits by gathering needed insights for operational changes. These types of insights stem directly from a modern accounting system that systemically labels restaurant expenses, highlights pricing and spending trends, offers comparative industry data, and empowers proactive operations management through continued education. RASI has built a flexible and robust accounting system specifically built for restaurants to reduce manual labor, intelligently categorize expenses, and put operators in the driver's seat of their business with clear financial metrics. By viewing easy-to-understand dashboards, operators can get the complete financial picture of their restaurant, track spending relative to their budget in the form of a budget versus actual, check progress towards their financial goals, and drill down into a detailed general ledger expense report as required. RASI enables operators to track restaurant expenses and revenue in real time so that they know what's happening in their business today, enabling them to make proactive, educated business decisions. With RASI's accounting system, the chart of accounts is straightforward and streamlined. The operator is empowered to make improvements in their business based on that sound financial data. So, what are the major categories of restaurant expenses? Well, a restaurant cost breakdown and restaurant budget breakdown are both best achieved by reviewing the profit and loss statement. The profit and loss statement captures monthly restaurant expenses and restaurant fixed costs alongside restaurant revenue. Here's a quick run through of the profit and loss statement. Beginning at the top, we have sales, followed by cost of goods, labor expenses, direct operating costs, advertising and promotion, general and administrative, maintenance costs, and occupancy. We're going to briefly cover these different categories. However, we do have a really comprehensive profit and loss statement article on our website at rasiusa.com. First up is going to be sales. Sales breaks down into two categories, gross sales and net sales. Gross sales includes sales plus sales tax, comps, and discounts. You want to judge your sales minus sales tax, which is known as adjusted net sales, because you'll eventually pass the sales tax to the government. Again, on the topic of sales tax, we have a great article on sales tax impounding on our website that you can check out for even more detail on this. Next on our list is cost of goods. This is the cost of all the ingredients you use to produce your food and beverage sold during the period. Don't forget to include bar consumables such as lemons and olives in this category as well. COGS is half of your prime costs, making it an incredibly important operating metric and a prime area to try to control these costs. Next is labor expenses. Labor expenses break into operational payroll costs for the front of house and back of house, and other payroll costs, including salaries, payroll taxes, employee benefits, and employee discounts. You have the most discretion over hourly wages, so focus on efficient scheduling for your sales levels. Note that labor is the other half of those prime costs and an additional area to focus on controlling. Skipping ahead, the next largest expense is going to be occupancy. Occupancy is your rent or mortgage payment on your building, plus property taxes if you own the building, and utilities. Pay attention to this one. Now that we have a bit of an idea of all these different expenses to keep track of, well, how can software make restaurant expense management better? Well, modern software can significantly ease the labor burden of restaurant expense tracking and management. RASI's comprehensive restaurant accounting software offers the following: detailed expense tracking and charting. This allows you to view top-level trends and drill down to general ledger categories. For example, you can compare your budget to actual sales and use declining budgets to more accurately manage your expenses. Real-time insights on where your money is going. It's helpful to understand how your revenue and expenses are stacking up right now rather than last month. Your ability to make decisions always lies in the present, and your accounting data should be there with you. Real-time information enables active management and timely interventions that prevent expenses from getting out of control. Standardized financial performance metrics. To keep an accurate measure of your profit and loss, progress towards goals, and overall financial health, it's critical that you calculate your key performance indicators that same way from period to period. RASI's metrics ensure that your measurement methodology will always be consistent. Having integrated POS, payroll, and accounts payable. RASI enables your data to flow seamlessly from the point of sale to critical financial reporting without human intervention. Add integrated payroll and accounts payable, and your back office will be in great shape. How expense management can assist restaurant profitability? To make a consistent profit in the restaurant business, it's critical that you manage your prime costs, made up, as described earlier, of your cost of goods and labor expenses. You'll only be able to do so if you have a solid grasp on your ongoing costs. By tracking and categorizing your inventory and ingredient usage, you can calculate those costs of goods and make data-informed decisions about what to offer on your menu. Likewise, your labor expenses need to be tracked and categorized appropriately so that you can allocate shifts to match projected sales, which will be informed by period over period or year-over-year sales trends. Let's expand on that notion of trend analysis. When assessing trends within your data, it's important to measure similar periods, such as January of this year compared to January of last year. That would be a month-over-month comparison. Many restaurants simply track data monthly, but this denies you an accurate basis for analysis, as the restaurant industry displays really strong seasonality. Sales for most restaurants will vary from summer to winter, and your forecasting should consider this. Utilizing a period-based accounting system also assists in identifying trends that deviate from the expected pattern. An example of this may be in ingredient costs that are radically different from last year, where an operator can investigate further. Overall, having a solid understanding of your revenue and expense trends is vital to accurate forecasting. When your revenue and expenses are tracked and categorized in real time, you're empowered to make business improving operational changes long before problems appear in retrospective data. A modern expense management solution increases your maneuverability and speed of decision-making via timely data and financial metrics. The result is that as an operator, you have enhanced effectiveness when cost-cutting and making managerial changes. Having hard data on financial performance on hand also allows you to instill a culture of financial responsibility in your management team. Now that's a lot of information, and selecting the right software to improve restaurant expense management may seem like a daunting task, but we've been in the business for a long time, and we're not afraid to say it. We think RASI is the most powerful expense management solutions for restaurants ever made. When you choose to work with RASI, you join thousands of restaurant operators that have decided to be proactive and take control of their financial destiny. We'd be glad to discuss how our software fits your needs and operational style. You can schedule a free demo today to learn more information about RASI. Thank you so very much for tuning in to this week's episode of The Tip Share. We'll see you next week.